I know that your background was in IT security, and what is your go-to answer when someone talks about quantum computers and Bitcoin?
There's two things. The first thing is, yes, we have to care for that. It's a threat that might be very valid in the future. So it's not something that we should just swipe away and say, oh, it will never be dangerous. It won't be anything that we don't care about. It might just be a threat to Bitcoin. So, and there are already solutions and proposals out there, and way smarter people to talk on that topic than I can ever be. And that gives me a lot of hope that we can actually move towards that, if that ever comes to be a threat. The second part is, if you talk to a lot of experts in the field, they all tell you it's not tomorrow. It's a threat that does not come right around the corner, but we have to be aware of that. And the big thing is with quantum computers is, why would they attack Bitcoin if there are so many other systems, like every other system, that's an easier target with more monetary value in them? The fiat system is way, way less secure than the Bitcoin system. Why? If I have a quantum computer that can break all the algorithms, can break all the things, why would I choose Bitcoin to break into if it's way more secure and way harder to crack than any bank account, any other system that I can just get probably more money out of in the total, because there's a lot more money in fiat still than in Bitcoin, a lot more. So why would I even attack Bitcoin in the first place? So there's also a game theory aspect to it. But at some point, Bitcoin will be bigger, and the target will be just way more attractive. So we have to already think about that. And there are great people. I think Bitcoin Mechanics is his name. I might confuse him with someone else, but I think he is really good on that topic. And there are like 3-4 other people that are really good and have good proposals and stuff like that are on the technical level just way better than me. I worked in IT security, but I worked on the economic side of IT security. So I was not a hardcore coder. I was not a hardcore developer of cryptographic stuff and things like that. But I did have some rudimentary understanding of software development because I learned that in school. But I'm not an IT security expert per se.
Yeah, and the comparison between Bitcoin and your central bank is that with Christine Lagarde and Jerome Powell, they would set the password with all their accesses, the name of their mistress or lover, plus the year of their birth with one special character. So that is way easier to crack, and even the cryptography there is much easier to crack. And there are so many people who have access to those data with a low security hygiene. But with your Bitcoin, ideally only you have access to it and not the whole network is compromised. And it is, as you said, it is going to happen in steps. It's a real threat. The algorithms are out there, and people might even smarter people might come up with even more efficient algorithms. We shouldn't just sleep on that, but it is not that we have left it, we are not thinking about it, and that there are not solutions for it now being developed. Yeah.
Any time in history when there's a technology that is, like I say, a fork in the road of human civilization, like electricity was, like the printing press was, like all those great innovations were, there's a lot of resistance against that because it poses a big change to society. We all remember those memes where, or that actual thing that happens, but is now a meme in Bitcoin, the anti-electricity FUD. There were people saying, "Oh, electricity is bad. It will kill your kids. Electricity will microwave the whole world. Electricity is so bad." The same thing happened with all the other technology advancements. The internet was a big controversial stuff. It's still controversial. There are still people that say, "Oh, the internet is really bad. We should go back before the internet. We should go back out of electricity," which will never happen, by the way. But there's always a resistance coming up. And it's so funny to watch how something new has to be perfect. And the old incumbent system is not getting questioned at all. Nobody asks, "Hey, is my bank account quantum resistance?" Like, nobody asked that. Nobody asked, "Is my Amazon account resistance against that?" But we asked that with Bitcoin, with the most secure network there is in the whole world. There we ask it. Like, why do we do that? We should ask the insecure, the unsecure systems, the IT systems that there are already, that have no security at all, are completely centralized, are controlled, as you said, with username and password somewhere, with two-factor authentication. And we all know from IT security, the biggest threat is not a technology threat. The biggest threat is the human being. Like,
Exactly.
you can make a huge wall and make it really, really secure. But if the guard that holds the key to that wall just lets you in, it doesn't matter how big of a wall you build. And that's the thing where we should focus on. We should educate people on how to not fall for Bitcoin tricks, and how to not, because that happens on probably an almost daily basis, that someone loses their Bitcoin, loses their money, loses other cryptos probably even, because they haven't been educated on scams. There are so many impersonators from me. There's so many impersonators from all the Bitcoiners out there that talk to the people every day, and they're still trying they're still managing to fund themselves with those scams. So I think we first should fix the social aspect of the IT security thing, and we should talk about how bad the security of Amazon, of Google, of the Fiat system is, and how great the security is on Bitcoin. And yes, we should be critical, and yes, we should be saying, "Hey, we should upgrade the code at some point to make it resistant." But this is not a discussion we have to have, that we have to do now. It's a discussion that the discussion is already happening, but it's not an action step that we have to take now. So this is the one thing. And the other thing, as I said, when such an invention comes and it gets questioned by the incumbent system, it's natural to do that. Electricity had gone through that, the internet had gone through that, and all the innovations have gone through that. But it's important to note that it's inevitable. Like, you have electricity comes in, and the person that has electricity has an extreme advantage over the person that does not have electricity. It's the same thing with gunpowder. If you come to a fist fight with a gun, you win that fight because you can shoot the other people. They can be really muscular, they can be fast, they can be whatever they can be. You can just shoot them. The same thing can happen with electricity. If you are the only town in the whole country that has electricity, you will be the most prosperous town in the whole country. If you are the only town that sets on a Bitcoin standard, you will be the most prosperous town in the whole country. The same thing with all technology. You have to embrace it, or you will get left behind. And there's still places without electricity in this world. There's still places without internet in the world, and there are still places without the Bitcoin in the world. So we have a lot of education to do. We have a lot of building infrastructures to do. And we are on a good way to get there. But the resistance is normal, and those who buy into those resistance FUD that technology always gets, he will also get left behind.
Yeah, and there are so many more advanced techniques of scamming people that comes along. Right, the previous session on previous live, I was talking to Zia, and he was talking about the pig butchering scam. It's a new scam. Maybe you have already received messages on Telegram like that someone writes to you, instead of saying, "Hey, Robin," they say that, "Hey, Dave, I just arrived at the airport. Come pick me up," or something like that. And then, "Oh, I know it was a mistake." And they start to make a personal connection with you. And after some time, if you want a video call, they would even do the video call with you. Voice message, do you receive the voice message, so you are sure about the gender of the other person on the person on the other end of the line. And it might take 3 months for them to launch the attack, and then they don't attack you directly. They first say that, "Oh, there is this crypto on Coinbase, or you can make this account on Coinbase, transfer money like that," which is legit. Coinbase, with all the criticisms, it works. And it's not a scam for that person, at least. And that is beneficial to that person. But then they will introduce a website to you that is their own, and it is a total scam. So they are a kind of low time preference generation of scammers that are coming in, and we need to be really careful about them, especially with the rise of AI. They might even not need a person on the other end, and they would use voice changers or image producers to give you the illusion that you are talking to a human.
Yeah, that's interesting. I never got that one. I always get job offers on Telegram. Like
Job
people,
off. Yeah, job offers. I
here
think
for
LinkedIn is to blame for that.
yeah, it's so annoying. You get so many messages. I got the scam that Larry Lepar fell for, and I think even Lynn Alden also. I'm not sure. The one where you get invited to an interview of Bloomberg or
Yes.
something like that, and then you open like Google Calendar, and then there's some weird scam going on where you give the rights to the tool, and it's really nicely done actually from Twitter, and then you can tweet in your name. I got that, I think, already like 7 times, but yeah, I saw it because I saw it before Larry. I don't know if I would have fallen for it because it was really sketchy and very different to all other interview invites, but especially if you're such a busy person like Larry Lepar and you just go quickly through messages, you can fall for that very easily, very, very easily and quickly also. So the scams are getting good. They know who to target and they know how to target them. And yeah, be aware of anything going on, and before clicking on a link, like just double check it or use some sandbox, or after you click a link, see what you're actually agreeing on, because it was not the scam with Larry. So from what I've seen is they clicked on a link and there nothing was wrong. Then an app that was seemingly Google Calendar wanted to have access to Twitter, but it was not the actual Google Calendar. It just looked really good like Google Calendar. And then you click on it, and then you gave their application the right to post on your Twitter. So Larry's Twitter did not get hacked. He granted the attackers access to post on their Twitter. And then they posted a lot of weird things. Then Larry got banned from Twitter because Twitter was like, "Oh, like what is he posting?" So the whole story. But I think it should teach us that we should be really careful of social engineering. That's the most IT security things would be solved if we would eliminate social engineering. If social engineering is zero, like nobody would fall for those things, which will never be accomplished. But if it would be to zero, IT security would be so easy. That's why there are so many courses, so many offerings out there to defend yourself against social engineering, because they are just so good and they reach the right people. And it's a numbers game, you know, like you can write like 500 people, with one scam, or maybe like 5,000 people, and you only need, let's say, 10 to fall for it. You don't need, most people don't fall for it. Most people actually are clever and don't fall for it, or are aware in that situation and don't fall for it. But those 5% or 2% that fall for it, it's already a profit. They already make the money back. So that's why they are so successful, because they don't need a lot of people to fall for it.
Yeah, definitely. And with respect to Bitcoin, when I came into Bitcoin, one of the strangest things that I had to come into terms with was that there are 12 words on one line. And those 12 words were the key to recover my Bitcoin. And I think I on purpose removed my Bitcoin wallet, and I restored it from that. It was Electrum wallet, my first wallet, to just see how those 12 words work, because I was very much used to having a username and password. And the fact that I hadn't made a username and password on Electrum's website, I was like, wow, where is my Bitcoin? So that was one of the strangest things that I had to deal with from the start, and it made more and more sense to me over time. Of course, there are still aspects of it that I don't understand, aspects of mining that I do not understand. What were the strangest things in Bitcoin when you encountered it for you?
Self-custody was completely new to me. I never was able with anything where I can put my financial energy and actually have it myself. Before I had stockbrokers, I had a bank account, I had all those other things. And there are things like real estate. A lot of people say, oh, I can own my real estate. No, you own a paper that says that you are allowed to live there or rent it out and stuff like that. But it can be taken away from you really easily. There has to be just one judge saying, oh, it's not your home anymore. And if you don't agree, there's policemen coming to your house and get you out there. So you don't really own your home. You don't really own any stocks. You don't really own anything other than Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is the only thing that you can store in your head, and they cannot even get it out by force. They cannot shoot it out of you. If they could torture you, but it's still your choice if you give it to them or not. And this concept was so far away from me, so foreign to me, that it was really hard for me to grab how big of an invention this is for mankind. What will that change if all of a sudden there's no central authority over finances, over money? You immediately think about war. You immediately think about breaking in and stealing things. You immediately think about all those things, because all of a sudden the responsibility is not at a centralized authority like a bank or a government. The responsibility is at the individual level. You remove the responsibility basically down from the government, from the big banks, from the institutions, down to the individual level. And really interesting, if that concept is so popular, if that comes through all of the internet, if it's not just money, because right now it's just money where we have that possibility. Yes, you can say with social media, we also have Nostro now, but most people are not yet on Nostro. I mean, you can also make that argument with Bitcoin, but we really need that concept to go through all of society, to take the responsibility back from the big institutions towards the individual. This will be an awesome future. I'm not sure if it happens. I'm sure with Bitcoin that it happens. I'm not sure if the rest of the internet is so passionate about self-custody that they will actually adopt it, even though it might mean it's not as convenient as a centralized thing. If we get a self-custodial social media app that's more convenient and has a better network effect than the centralized ones, then it wins. I'm not sure if that's the case, because with Bitcoin we have a financial incentive to adopt it. If there wouldn't be number go up technology, Bitcoin industry would be like 1/100th of the size. Like if Bitcoin only would make transactions secure across borders without the number go up technology, almost everyone wouldn't be here. I would never came to Bitcoin. Thank you for watching this video. This was only a snippet of the podcast. And if you want to watch the full episode and get all of the context of this episode, you can click right here or here. Oh, maybe also here.